Thank you very much, Mark. It's a terrific atmosphere here on the end of a nice spring day in Hertfordshire. The black and yellow flags were flying and being waved in the rookery away to our left-hand side. Here we are at the back of the Sir Elton John stand, opposite the Graham Taylor stand, and the two teams about to get things underway here. I'll go through the teams for you. Watford, we expect to be in a 4-4-2. Ben Foster returns in goal. Aurelio Gomez, of course, between the sticks for the FA Cup semi-final victory over Wolves. So they line up like this. Ben Foster, Daryl Janmaat we expect to be right back. Kabasele is back in the side alongside Cathcart in central defence. Adam Messina at left back. Into midfield, Kiko Femenia on the right hand side. The midfield duo of Abdoulaye Doucouré and Etienne Capoue, with Will Hughes on the left hand side, and a front two of Andre Gray and Troy Deeney. If Watford do win, they go into 7th place, and if they were to lose the FA Cup final against Manchester City, 7th would be live in terms of qualification for the Europa League. Now Arsenal win for them and they go 4th. 4-2-3-1 for them, and 6 changes from the Napoli home tie in the Europa League. Mesut Ozil and Alexander Lacazette are on the bench, so they line up like this. Bernd Leno in goal, Shkodran Mustafi at right back, Konstantinos Mavropanos is in at centre back for the suspended Socrates Papastathopoulos. That saved us a bit of a tongue twister, Chris Sutton, hasn't it? Laurent Koscielny alongside him with Nacho Monreal at left back. Midfield 4, Mkhitaryan, Torreira, Xhaka's back from a groin injury, and Alex Iwobi. And Aaron Ramsey we expect to be in an advanced midfield role behind Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The Watford side are in their pre-match huddle. They'll be attacking the goal and the rookery end away to our left-hand side. Arsenal in their, what is it, mint choc chip, I think Mark said, from head to toe. They haven't had a great deal of joy in that recently. Chris, what are you looking for tonight?
I think it's a huge game for both clubs in terms of their league positions. The chance for Arsenal to break into a Champions League spot, and to Watford just to carry on the momentum. FA Cup finalists into the final countdown now.
And we're underway. Long ball forward, and Troy Deeney wins his first header of the game, and Mavropanos ushers the ball back to Bernd Leno. Just 14 miles between the Emirates and Vicarage Road. The two clubs train in adjacent complexes in Hertfordshire. And here's the first touch again for Mavropanos. Last seen in the Premier League as a substitute at Manchester City. His last start was late May last season. He was red carded at Leicester City. He is a big unit, Chris, and I'm sure that he's been picked with the tussle with Troy Deeney in mind.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that tussle. Deeney in grey, rough and ready. And he is a big boy. He's got the experienced Koscielny alongside him. He'll be talking him through this game. Unfortunately for him, he's got Mustafi on his right hand side, who can be rash and reckless.
Yep, confirmation that Mustafi is at right back. Throw in to Watford on the halfway line, their left hand side. Messina sends it down the line towards Deeney. Koscielny with the ball under control, and Nacho Monreal with the left foot rolls it back to his goalkeeper, who's under some pressure, and Bernd Leno sends the ball directly out of play. It was Andre Gray who was putting pressure on him, and hence the roar as Watford have a throw in an advanced position, but then can't make anything out of it, and it's an Arsenal throw level with the edge of their own penalty area. Arsenal, they haven't travelled well of late. 1 win in their last 9 away in the Premier League. That was at Huddersfield. They are the only side in the top flight without a clean sheet away from home. So the likes of Mavropanos will have to put that right sooner or later.
Yeah, and sloppy start from Arsenal, really. And shows you Watford's intention from the off. We're not going to make it easy for you, playing out from the back. We're going to press you high, hustle and bustle.
The crowd in good voice. Of course, FA Cup finalists against Manchester City in 33 days' time. Adam Messina, who's in for the injured Jose Holebas, once again on the halfway line, left-hand side for Watford with the throw-in. Just assessing his options. Not a great deal of movement out there from either side. He looks for Deeney's head. He wins the header above Lucas Torreira, but the ball breaks here for Doucouré. I think Watford will do well to hold on to him in the summer transfer window. He's expressed repeatedly his desire to play Champions League football. A tussle on the sideline on the Arsenal right, and they win themselves a throw-in. Mustafi takes it quickly, but not accurately necessarily. Didn't get the distance on it. It was flicked on by Ramsey. Aubameyang in field, but can only find the blonde-haired Will Hughes, who plays it back to his goalkeeper Ben Foster, who says that even if he was selected for the FA Cup final ahead of Aurelio Gomez, he wouldn't play. There's a good pro for you. Gomez is the FA Cup goalkeeper.
That's nice to hear. Nice to see that they get on very well. I'm not too sure that's true, mind.
You're not buying that. Here's Kiko Femenia. Into the area he goes towards Andre Gray, and it's a scuffed clearance by Mavropanos, and he concedes the game's first corner on the Watford right.
Yeah, it looks like Kiko Femenia just playing up one. Wide back by trade, but Janmat in that right back position. He's more of a right winger this evening.
Adam Messina has trotted across.
Well, Arsenal
great
have left
urgency.
3 up.
They have. And I think Watford have just realised that. So Capu is going to come out of the penalty area, and he's pointing away at Femenia over on that right-hand side to track Iwobi. But now Femenia with the ball in the right corner of the penalty area. The cross is headed clear, but here's Will Hughes with the shot, and it was a good one. I think it struck the back of his own player, his teammate Troy Deeney. Now Femenia on that right, the cross took a deflection. Here's Deeney, now Hughes, and he drags his shot wide, and it's a goal kick to Arsenal.
I tell you what, there was some power in that Will Hughes effort. Right hand side of the box as Troy Deeney, who unfortunately for him got in the way of it. It's a bright start from Watford though.
Will Hughes, who turns 24 on Wednesday, his 50th appearance for Watford in all competitions, signed from Derby County, of course, where he made his debut at the age of 16. Goal kick taken short, Leno to Mavropanos, and then back to the goalkeeper, and he launches it left-footed into the Watford half. A solitary Etienne Capoue got there first with a right-footed volley, but now here's Monreal on the left for Arsenal. To the touchline, and Alex Iwobi infield to Granit Xhaka, who is back from that groin injury. He's missed 3 games, shrugging off the attentions in his own half of Will Hughes, and plays it to Mavropanos. Now on the right-hand side, approaching the halfway line, is Skodran Mustafi. Infield to Granit Xhaka, number 34 on his back. Here's Aaron Ramsey, soon to be a Juventus player. And he finds Monreal. Patient build-up by Arsenal down the left-hand side now with Alex Iwobi. Ramsey on good goal-scoring form. Got the opener against Napoli last Thursday in the first leg of their Europa League tie. They go to Naples later this week on Thursday for the second leg with a 2-0 lead. Mkhitaryan outnumbered by Watford midfielders. Messina finds Capoue. Now here's Hughes, and he invites Femenia into the game. Now on the right-hand side is Troy Deeney. Back to goal, does well to find Capoue, former Tottenham player, played in a couple of North London derbies for them against Arsenal. Messina on the left-hand side.
They're actually more of a back 3, Watford, and at the right-sided centre-half, using Messina and Femenia as wing-backs.
And Capoue finds Janmat, the former Newcastle man. Menia cuts infield off that right flank to Capoue. Here's Decore. This is better from Watford. Cathcart strides forward in possession. Now Messina on the left-hand side, closed down and challenged well by Mkhitaryan. It's a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area on the Watford left-hand side to be taken by Messina.
Yeah, they always have that option, and they get the ball in wide areas. A couple of physical strikers, both like to head the ball. Gray decent in the air for his size. And Deeney, he's a real powerhouse. They're not frightened to load the ball in.
Messina currently resting off the advertising board, a bit like pushing off the sight screen like Michael Holding back in the day, maybe at Derbyshire. But he took the throw in short this time, and then I think he's committed the foul right by the byline. No real need to make the challenge, and Arsenal have a free kick.
Was there really that much contact on Xhaka? I'm not so sure there was. Running towards his own byline. I mean, come on. I've just seen that on the monitor.
You're absolutely right, Chris, because Xhaka is just crumpled in a heap with no contact whatsoever, about a yard or so, or maybe 3 or 4 yards in from the byline. But the referee, Craig Pawson, fell for it, and it's Bernd Leno who sends the free kick into the Watford half. Lovely flick on by Aubameyang, and then Cathcart cushions the header back to Ben Foster.
You could say a Swiss roll from Xhaka.
Now, were you planning on using that one at some point during the game, or perhaps surprised to get it out this early? 5 Live, Vicarage Road. Watford 0, Arsenal 0, on a night where Watford could go into 7th place with victory and Arsenal could go back into the top 4. 4 into 2 places doesn't go. One of Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal are going to miss out on the Champions League. We have a title race for the ages, with Liverpool top by 2 points, Manchester City with the game in hand, and these closing few weeks are going to be absolutely compelling to watch. Here's Ramsey on the right hand side for Arsenal. That's a wonderful crossfield ball towards Iwobi. Claims of handball. Ball sort of rolled down his left arm. I think Craig Pawson was going to give the free kick, but played an advantage nonetheless. Good tussle here between Gray and Koscielny. It looked like Koscielny had a bit of a handful of Andre Gray.
I thought that was a foul. Gray backing in.
Long ball down the middle, looking for Aubameyang. It might fall here to Ramsey. It does. Here's Mkhitaryan. Heavy first touch, runs into Will Hughes, and then he slides in to tackle Granit Xhaka, but it's Xhaka who came away with the ball. Mustafi finds Ramsey. He can have a little run here at Messina, right corner of the penalty area. Cross with the outside of his right boot, looking for Iwobi. It was a very straight cross along the edge of the penalty area. Well defended by Watford. Ben Foster has the ball in his feet. Oh, and it's a goal! He was closed down from behind by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Didn't hear the footsteps. There's the challenge, right into the back of the net. It's a shocker for Ben Foster. And Arsenal have an early boost and the early lead at Vicarage Road.
Well, it's been Watford who have been brighter in the early exchanges, but what are you doing, Ben Foster? Wasn't the best cross in from Ramsey, and there's no danger. Janmaat rolls the ball down. He takes a touch, but he just dwells on it. No urgency from Foster. He's 3 yards from his own goal, and Aubameyang, he's got so much pace. Foster must have been aware of that before the game. Lackadaisical, and it ricochets off Aubameyang, who does well, shuts the keeper down. What a gift for Arsenal.
When he first received the ball, Chris, it's the 10th minute of the game, he was facing Aubameyang, so he must have noted his presence, and then it was all very slow from the 36-year-old goalkeeper. Aubameyang turned on the afterburners and got the challenge in, straight into the back of the net for his 17th Premier League goal of the season.
But that must have crossed his mind before the start of the game. You know how quick Aubameyang is. Unbelievable acceleration. You can't afford to take chances. They're coming together there. Gray and Koscielny.
Yeah, the referee Craig Pawson. It's inside the Arsenal half of play, and he shows a red card to Troy Deeney for an off-the-ball incident. Deeney has been sent off. The man who accused Arsenal of lacking, in his words, cojones last season after Watford won 2-1 here, has been red carded. What a disastrous couple of minutes it's been here for Watford.
You can see him wording how have I been sent off in that situation. But I think we saw Granit Xhaka suggesting that Deeney threw an elbow. I mean, what a terrible few seconds for Watford, and their leader now is off.
Well, you'd have to assume as well violent conduct, Chris, and that's a 3-game ban. Let's take a look at the replay. We've got a television screen hanging above us here, and it's a challenge on Torreira, where he does appear to throw out a right elbow into the side of the head of Lucas Torreira.
Well, and Arsenal players might be suggesting Troy Deeney lacked brain cells this evening, because that was just sheer stupidity. He does throw an arm, it does hit Torreira, and I know Torreira isn't the biggest, but he does catch him. Torreira has passed the ball off, and Deeney is late. Deserved red card.
He won't miss the FA Cup final, and I think that's the first thing that would flash through Watford fans and Troy Deeney's mind. It would be a 3-game ban for violent conduct. And I think it must have been the assistant on the far side from where we're watching the game, Chris, that may have got into the ear of Craig Pawson. Maybe it was the referee who spotted it himself. But in the aftermath of the opening goal, all the focus was on Ben Foster away to our right-hand side, and as soon as the game got back underway, Troy Deeney flying the elbow to Torreira. What a boost for Arsenal and their chances of getting back into the top four and actually ending this horror run away from home. They lead by 1-0 through Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Watford now play the rest of the game with 10 men.
Well, simply he's let his team down, hasn't he, Troy Deeney? Such an inspiration for this Watford team, the leader, the focal point, and that really was stupid from him. I don't know what he was arguing about and why he was protesting. He did throw an arm, simple as that. Brainless.
He had a word with Unai Emery on the way off as well. So, well, Arsenal fans are particularly enjoying it away to our right, bearing in mind the comments that he did make after the victory here over Arsenal last season. A sort of poetic justice, I suppose, for them. And boos echoing around Vicarage Road. It's gone from a party atmosphere to a pretty febrile atmosphere now. 78 minutes they have to play, a goal down with 10 men.
Yep, and they're a 4-4-1 now with Deeney off. They'll miss him, won't they? Such a important player in this team, the driving force, their captain.
Mustafi sent a terrific defensive header into the Watford half. Here's Messina, the left back, right on the touchline, finds Hughes, who's switched over to the left hand side. He's challenged by Mustafi, and then does he foul Mkhitaryan?
It's a good challenge.
Right, ball winning challenge. It's right beneath us on the sideline. Mkhitaryan has stayed down, and on we play. A long clearance up towards Andre Gray. He's challenged by Mustafi. Mavropanos takes control of the ball and finds his fellow defender Nacho Monreal. Here's Laurent Koscielny, whose body is perhaps starting to creak a little at the age of 33, recovered from a fuss injury to start against Napoli, having returned from that torn Achilles tendon that he suffered in the Europa League last season.
Yeah, well, he's not going to play 2 games a week now, Koscielny. I can't see him starting against Napoli, but now Arsenal can just dictate the play, can't they? Watford have to work out. Now Deeney's gone, how are they going to get up the pitch?
15 minutes on the clock here. 5 Live Sport. Arlo White and Chris Sutton with you. And it's Watford 0, Arsenal 1. Watford down to 10 men if you're just joining us. Here's Cavaselli, who's in for Adrian Mariappa.
Arsenal aggressive now with their press, with a man advantage.
Koscielny rolls it across the halfway line to Mavropanos, who's no stranger to a bit of red mist himself on recent evidence of his last start and a red card at Leicester City at the tail end of last season. It was a defeat that night who many think saved Claude Puel's job for the summer. It was one of the final games of Arsene Wenger's reign, and actually Mavropanos was the 222nd and final player to play for Arsene Wenger. In the midfield now with Torreira, who's challenging now, wins the ball back off Andre Gray. Here's Iwobi, and there's space here for Ramsey. The return ball to Iwobi down the left-hand side. Aubameyang is in behind Cathcart. Still Iwobi. There's the cut back. Aubameyang, surely no. Took a deflection, went away for a corner, and that was a chance to make it 2-0. An electrifying counter-attack down the left-hand side by the Gunners.
Yeah, little give and go from Iwobi into Ramsey. Ramsey at ease with his game. Feeds it back, and it's a ball left-footed played across Aubameyang. Gets a run on the near post. It's good defending. Decent contact from Aubameyang.
Was it going in, Chris, do you think?
I think it may have just been creeping in.
Well, the upshot is a corner on the Arsenal left-hand side. Mkhitaryan sends it into the near post. Cathcart wins the challenge with Mavropanos. Femenia by his own corner flag. Nice little bit of footwork, and then instead of rolling it back to his goalkeeper, Ben Foster, he sends it up the right-hand touchline for Watford, but Arsenal have it back, and they're winning the ball back all too easily here, Arsenal, from a Watford point of view. It's all gone a little bit flat here, the FA Cup party. Mavropanos finds Koscielny, and here's Mustafi, and Unai Emery down in the technical area in front of us is gesticulating wildly what he wants his players and where he wants them to be, pointing into the midfield, and it's a motionless Javi Gracia in his long black trench coat, arms folded, looking like someone's stolen his dinner money.
Well, it's the worst possible start, isn't it, for Watford? And from Arsenal's point of view, they can just dictate the pace of this game, but we know Watford this season, they're capable of digging in.
17 minutes in, here's Iwobi on the left corner of the penalty area for Arsenal. They're attacking left to right. Granit Xhaka. Back to Iwobi. Here's Aaron Ramsey, the number 8 on his back, out to Nacho Monreal, who tries to go around the outside down the line. It's rolled back to Ben Foster. Ironic cheers from the Arsenal fans as he clears first time at his right foot up towards the halfway line. One here for Andre Gray to chase. Mavropanos wins a header, only falls to the feet of Decore, but he gives the ball away straight to Mustafi, gets a second bite of the cherry on the halfway line. Square ball along that halfway line to Etienne Capoue, and then Lucas Torreira, much to the delight and the ironic cheers of the Watford fans, concedes the free kick on the halfway line, the man who was elbowed by Troy Deeney for the red card.
And you can hear what the crowd feel about Watford getting the award of the free kick. Really competitive now in that midfield area. Capoue and Decore under all sorts of pressure when they get on the ball.
Free kick, it's just a yard or so inside the Arsenal half, who are playing a very high line here. Some 10 yards or so outside their own penalty area. Messina's got his right arm raised, he's got white sweatbands on each wrist, and he flicks it forward left-footed, looking for the run at the back post, and the shot comes in, it hits the post. It's an excellent save, I think, by Bernd Leno, who turns the shot onto his near post. It's Cathcart who got the shot away, and that is an excellent stop.
Yeah, well, you said it, Arlo, really high line from Arsenal. And it's Cavaselli who just gets the first touch off his chest. Cathcart from the angle hammers a right foot shot, and it's a smart save, isn't it, from Leno at his near post. Oh, it hits the post and goes wide to safety for Arsenal.
Here comes the corner kick, and it's cleared at the near post by Mustafi. Not the best service that time by Messina. He almost gets a second chance, but then Torreira into the midfield towards an advancing Aaron Ramsey. Had he brought that ball under control, they could have been in. And now Watford attacking. Yanmat almost sliding it through towards Gray and Messina, who'd stayed forward. But it's end-to-end stuff here, and here comes Iwobi. Slides a ball down the left-hand side towards Aubameyang, side of the penalty area. Cuts in against Cavaselli, chips to the back post, and it's just over the head of Mkhitaryan, who decided not to attack it under pressure from Messina. Ball's out for a goal kick.
I mean, a real lack of courage there from Mkhitaryan. Aubameyang, that pace down the left-hand side, unselfish, checks back on his right foot and just stands a ball up to the far post. And Mkhitaryan really should have made a challenge for that, but ducked out at the last second and goes to safety.
Richard West is the assistant on that far side, by the way. We're seeing another replay of the incident. I don't think there can be any doubt about it at all. And it was Richard West who gave the information about the Troy Deeney elbow to referee Craig Pawson. Now there's another flashpoint. Torreira's on the ground. Well, he's got up again now, and Craig Pawson is across to try and sort out another mini melee.
Well, that's one of those where the ball is bouncing. Now, I thought that was a strong, very strong challenge on Torreira. To his credit, who just jumps back to his feet, but is saying to Craig Pawson, why no card? It was Decore.
Yeah,
he was late. Studs raised. He'll say he's going for the ball. He actually gets a touch on the ball and follows through, but maybe fortunate not to see yellow.
Just caught the lower right shin of Lucas Torreira there. Abdoulaye Decore. Torreira getting the boo treatment from the Watford fans, but he finds Monreal, who gets it back from Aubameyang. Now Iwobi on the left touchline, closed down immediately by Daryl Yanmat, in the shadow of the Graham Taylor stand on that far side. The floodlights clearly illuminating the scene now. We had a spectacular purple sky a few moments ago. Lovely afternoon in Hertfordshire, now pitch black. And with 22 minutes on the clock here at Vicarage Road, it's 10-man Watford who trail Arsenal by a goal to nil Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang charging down and attempted Ben Foster clearance straight into the back of the net, and then Troy Deeney sent off for the elbow on Lucas Torreira. Here's Koscielny just inside the Watford half. It's rolled nicely to the feet of Aaron Ramsey. Femenia gets a challenge in, and then Janmaat out to the right hand side to Femenia, closed down by Ramsey. Did he foul him, Aaron Ramsey? Yes, says Craig Pawson. Another ironic cheer from the Watford fans, and they have a free kick halfway inside their own half on the right touchline, taken quickly to Decore, and he brings in Cathcart, who had that excellent effort, the snapshot a few moments ago, pushed onto the post by Bernd Leno. That's a good response by Watford. The give and go by Will Hughes, but the ball's at the feet of Messina on the left touchline, given away by Decore, but then Messina wins it back from Aaron Ramsey on the halfway line. Cathcart sends it forward, a looping ball towards Andre Gray, and is into the penalty area. It's an advantage being played. He squares the ball, and at the back post was Decore, but it was handled well by Nacho Monreal, and it was an impetuous bit of defending by Mavropanos. Shrugged off, he actually fouled Andre Gray. Play went on, and it's another corner kick.
Yeah, rash from Mavropanos. Gray does really well, uses his body, gets to the byline, bides his time and gets his head up, and Decore is rushing into the box, but Monreal using all his experience just to put that ball behind for Arsenal.
Andre Gray started the opening 8 Premier League games. This is only his second start since. Here comes the corner kick into the near post. It's another poor delivery, but it's not cleared effectively. Still there for Cathcart, who rolls it back out to Femenia. The cross takes a deflection and just clips the backside of the crossbar, and it's out for another corner kick on the right hand side for Watford.
You feel that this is maybe their best chance, Watford, from set pieces. Arsenal looking vulnerable.
Well, they changed corner taker, but the delivery wasn't improved, but it was Arsenal who couldn't get that ball away. And Leno's under pressure here from Andre Gray, who's right on his tiptoes, and it's going to be Kiko Femenia once again with the right foot, curls it out. Crowd wants a penalty for the foul by the goalkeeper, a push on Andre Gray, but it falls here to Etienne Capoue in the midfield, and he sends a long looping ball back out to the corner taker Femenia. Capoue again, lovely first time football by Watford. Here's Hughes on the edge of the penalty area, sliding challenge by Torreira, and now Cabaselli with the shots, and that's taken another deflection and gone out for a corner on the Watford left. They've responded in the last 5 or 10 minutes very well indeed, the Hornets.
Yeah, well played Watford, really giving it a go. Yes, a man down. I tell you what, Leno's got to be careful though from the corner. I'm not saying it was a penalty, there's enough force for Gray to go down, but there is a slight shove on him. Stupid from the goalkeeper. Don't give the referee a decision to make.
Gray did go down very easily, but there was a pronounced shove, wasn't there, by the goalkeeper. The corner is cleared to the edge of the penalty area. The header by Etienne Capoue only falls to Henrik Mkhitaryan. Nice bit of skill by him, and a lovely ball into the midfield to Torreira. They've got a 3-on-2 here, Arsenal. Here's Iwobi approaching the penalty area. Janmaat is the defender, switches it to his right foot, tried the curler. It's deflected, and then he gets a left-footed shot away, and Ben Foster claws it behind for a corner kick.
No real conviction in that first shot from Iwobi. It was a 3v2. Left-hand side of the box. Drives inside, tries to get a shot off with his right foot, and comes back to him, and he hammers a shot with his left foot, and Foster makes a really good save high to his right.
Just a slight pause as Craig Pawson has a chat with Craig Cathcart, who looked to be injured, but he's a big tough lad, and he limps away to his station on the near post, marking Mavropanos. Corner on Arsenal's left-hand side then. Whipped in, taken short initially, whipped in with the left foot, and the ball is bouncing around awkwardly, not cleared very well, only as far as Ramsey. His shot though is deflected, that took the sting out of it, and it's easy for Ben Foster. We will of course get more on the fire in Paris at the Notre Dame Cathedral at half-time. Jeff Lloyd will be here at 10:30 with more guests from Paris. This is 5 Live from the BBC. And 5 Live Sports, and 27 minutes on the clock. Watford trying to draw level. The ball's in the penalty area. Now then, that's a late challenge, was it, by Will Hughes on Laurent Koscielny?
I do think he's entitled to go for that. And they have looked dangerous, Watford, down the left-hand side. Ball into the box, bouncing ball again. Koscielny gets there first, but Will Hughes isn't late, or isn't overly late, I should say. He's entitled to go for that. He could score a goal if he nicks in front of Koscielny.
One of those painful ones, Chris, where the opponent gets there first and you end up having kicked the ball, you kick the underside of their boots, or their right boot in this case. But Koscielny's back on his feet. He didn't make a big meal out of it, and now here he is in possession on the left corner of his own penalty area. White boots for Laurent Koscielny tonight. And Watford have responded well to the blow of going a goal down and a man down. But Arsenal still in the ascendancy by a 1-0 as we played 28 minutes here on 5 Live Sport at Vicarage Road. Long clearance by Bernd Leno and his all-purple goalkeeping kick. Cathcart wins the header. Down to Mkhitaryan. Assertive ball to the feet of Ramsey. He slides it in to the penalty area to Aubameyang. Kabasele with a half clearance. Falls here on the edge to Iwobi. Now Mkhitaryan again. Aubameyang's in the penalty area. It's flicked on by Ramsey. Almost fell to Torreira on the edge of the penalty area, and it's clipped clear by Will Hughes. But Mavropanos has it back for Arsenal. Here's Mustafi. Mavropanos again. Broad-shouldered young Greek defender. Here's Koscielny back in his own half. He finds Granit Xhaka in the centre circle. It's all rather static in front of him at the moment, but Watford with the 10 men happy to just sit back and maybe soak up some of these Arsenal attacks and preserve a bit of energy.
Yeah, just getting a bit of a breather. 4-man in midfield, Gray up front on his own, just retreating. No big gaps in that midfield for Arsenal to play through.
Mustafi on the right touchline. Orange boots for him tonight. Here's Mavropanos on the halfway line. Watford enjoying their best ever Premier League season. So far, 46 points is their highest tally in the top flight since 1986-87. And they are the top scorers in the Premier League outside of the top 6. And of course, FA Cup finalists in 33 days' time against Manchester City. Here's Ramsey on the right touchline. Flicks it back for Shkodran Mustafi. Granit Xhaka back to Mustafi. Right back for the night. Hector Bellerin long-term injured. Maitland-Niles is on the bench. They've got a tough assignment ahead, albeit with a 2-goal lead in Naples in the Europa League quarter-final on Thursday night. Here's Lucas Torreira. Spins but gives the ball straight to Will Hughes. Hughes now into the Arsenal half of the field. Andre Gray making a zigzag run ahead of him, and he's just run out of steam there, Will Hughes. But he was fouled 3 yards outside, maybe 4 yards outside the penalty area by Laurent Koscielny, and this is a free kick, central area, just outside the penalty area, in a very dangerous position.
Yeah, really intelligent play from a clever player, Will Hughes. There's 2-on-2 for a second, but Torreira gets back. Gray makes the run too early, and there is a little tug on him from Torreira. What an opportunity this is. 25 yards out. Central.
Well, Etienne Capoue is taking his time in placing the ball down. Might have been one that Troy Deeney fancied hammering towards goal, but he's off the field having seen red after 12 minutes. Capoue, double teapot arms on his hands on his hips. There's a 4-man Arsenal wall. There's a Watford player creating a nuisance on the end of that wall. Capoue takes it, curls it. Oh, it's an excellent save. Away to his left-hand side by Leno. Terrific goalkeeping yet again by the Arsenal number 1. That was heading into the corner.
It's a really brilliant free kick from Capoue over the wall, and somehow Leno leaps to his left-hand side, and his fingertips gets it round the post. Great save from Leno.
He's having a good night, and he's the goalkeeper that's been the busier since the opening goal for Arsenal. Poor corner kick again by Watford. They're not getting the set pieces right at all. The crowd are starting to get frustrated, but here they are in possession through Femenia. He tries to slide it inside right channel to Will Hughes, who puts Laurent Koscielny under some pressure, almost nipped around and took the ball off him on the byline, but then much to Koscielny's relief, the ball is out for a goal kick, and they survive, Arsenal.
Yeah, just for a second there, Koscielny just dallied, you felt, and Will Hughes saw an opportunity, nearly kept that in close to the Arsenal goal. You feel there's still something in this for Watford, though. Arsenal haven't been convincing
They lost their last Premier League game, Arsenal, at Everton, a rather limp performance, 1-0, but that's their only defeat in the last 7, and since that home defeat, or that defeat at West Ham, I should say, in January, they have won 7 of their 10 Premier League games. It would have been 8 out of 10 if Aubameyang had slotted home that late penalty in the North London derby. They were terrific that day in the 1-1 draw. They're in possession through Nacho Monreal, and he is forced back to Bernd Leno, who had just made a wonderful save, outstretched with his left palm just to get it round the post for the corner kick, having saved a few moments ago from Cathcart to keep this precious clean sheet that Arsenal are craving away from home. The only team in the Premier League without one on the road so far this season. Monreal left-hand side, just inside the Watford half, finds Xhaka. Here's Lucas Torreira coming in off the right flank. Is Mkhitaryan pointing to the man behind him, Mustafi, who gets the ball here. Iwobi had made a run over to the right-hand side. Both of Arsenal's wide men are within a yard of each other on the right flank. Iwobi now trotting across to a more central position. Here's Ramsey into the feet of Aubameyang. Back to Ramsey on the left touchline. And it's patient work by Arsenal, leading by a goal to 0.
But it's KG from Watford, though. Listen to it again. That 4-4-1, sitting deep, getting the breather. And then when they win the ball back, they try and counter at pace.
Mavropanos had the ball just inside the Watford half, raised his palms to the heavens, asking for options, and then Mustafi dispossessed by Will Hughes, and it's a Watford pro down the left.
I just don't know what goes through his mind at times, Mustafi. Strong defender, but he's not a good footballer, and Arsenal have players who can play. Why doesn't he just give it to one?
Messina with the throw-in, left touchline, right on the halfway line, sends it down the line. No Troy Deeney to aim for. It's over the head of Andre Gray, but he now brings the ball under control, or attempts to, dispossessed by Mkhitaryan, and then stabbed through the midfield by Torreira, and it's a lunging tackle by Daryl Janmaat on the halfway line against Alex Iwobi, and he might be a little fortunate to escape a yellow card. I think he will. It's just a free kick, says Craig Pawson.
Yeah, I think he was fortunate. He lunged in front of Iwobi. You make that sort of challenge in this day and age, albeit there wasn't any contact, you always run the risk of a card.
Aubameyang picked up the ball 15 yards outside the Watford penalty area, turned but straight into Cathcart, and now it's with Messina back to Ben Foster. Every clearance that he's performed since having one charge down into the net by Aubameyang has been first time, no messing from Ben Foster. Here's Decore left hand side for Watford. Now Messina with the miscontrol, it's out of play. Arsenal have a throw in 10 yards inside their own half on the right hand side. 35 minutes on the clock here at Vicarage Road, 5 Live Sports, and it's Watford 0, Arsenal 1. An early goal by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, his 18th in the Premier League this season, his 23rd in all competitions. He's having a fine season. You were surprised to see Lacazette on the bench earlier, weren't you?
Well, I was, but I can understand Unai Emery, he's got to juggle, hasn't he?
Andre Gray, edge of the area, finds Decore. He's run out of options. It's tenacious defending by Monreal. It's a lovely turn in the midfield by Torreira, and a magnificent ball out towards the left-hand side with Daryl Janmaat. Well, he's quick, isn't he, Janmaat? And he was under the path of that pass and managed to get a right foot to it and defended it very well to prevent Alex Iwobi sprinting clear down the left. Here's Granit Xhaka. Now Iwobi could be in on the left-hand side with Ramsey in possession. Iwobi in the penalty area. Back to Ramsey, and he stabs it forward towards goal. Watford at 6s and 7s at the moment. Capoe's giving the ball away to Monreal. In the area is Iwobi, through the legs of Capoe, but then Watford bring the ball clear, and here's Daryl Janmaat, chips it in field to Decore towards the halfway line, lobs it over the head of Mustafi, hesitant defended by Mavropanos, and he finds Andre Gray, but the flag is up on the far side, and the fans away to our left-hand side here in the Sir Elton John stand, who would have been fairly adjacent to that, don't agree with the offside flag decision at all.
I thought it was a close one, but I thought Decore, brilliant skill as it was, knocking it over Torreira's head, should have gone right. It was a 3v2. Oh, it's extremely close.
Kabasele sliding and winning the ball back for his side on the edge of the penalty area to prevent Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang dashing into the area with the ball at his feet, but Arsenal have it back. Here's Granit Xhaka in the centre circle, ball at his left foot, not put under a tremendous amount of pressure. Square ball to the right hand side to Shkodran Mustafi. Here's Henrik Mkhitaryan, the Arsenal number 7, rolls the ball with his right foot under pressure from Will Hughes and drops it back into his own half to Konstantinos Mavropanos. And he brings Xhaka back into the play, missing for 3 games with that groin injury. He's had a good season in the heart of that Arsenal midfield. Gets the ball back here from Ramsey. Ramsey chips it out to the touchline, somewhat untidily, but it's brought under control by Iwobi. Back to Ramsey, who had that contract offer on the table at the start of the season. Takes a long-range effort, looking for a bit of dip, but watched wide of his left post by Ben Foster.
He has been outstanding this season, Aaron Ramsey, but was he 30 yards out off target with that strike? You have to say Watford showing real discipline and organisation in this game, making it difficult for Arsenal to play through.
Ramsey celebrated his 400th Arsenal appearance last Thursday with that opening goal against Napoli. 2 big goals recently, if you add the North London derby strike to that as well. He's attempting to end his Arsenal career on a high. Now Craig Pawson's whistle has blown, and it's a free kick to Watford inside the Arsenal half. It's been a busy half for the referee Craig Pawson and his assistants. The Watford fans finding their voice after the early blows of conceding a goal and seeing their hero Troy Deeney sent off a straight red card after 12 minutes for the elbow on Lucas Torreira. And when a lot of them see it back on the telly, I don't think they will complain too much about it.
I don't know what Troy Deeney was, why he was protesting. He did catch him, it was late.
Yamat with the cross, a stooping header from Granit Xhaka, but it falls to the feet of Daryl Yamat again, down the right-hand side towards Femenia. The cross comes in, it's over the head of Andre Gray, and then a challenge came in by Kabasele on an Arsenal defender, and it was a little high. It's Mustafi who's just clutching his face. Kabasele penalised, free kick to Arsenal, who can relieve the pressure.
It's really well worked down that Watford right-hand side. Menia marauding, gets to the byline, feeds the ball in, and Mustafi stoops to head the ball away as Kabasele is trying a scissor kick. And I think it's the right decision from the referee.
Kabasele injured his hamstring here on Boxing Day against Chelsea, and that's opened the door for Adrian Mariappa to get his shirt back, and Mariappa played all the way up to the FA Cup semi-final. Kabasele at the heart of that defence tonight.
They've got a good squad, haven't they? Strength in depth, Watford. Trusts his players. Gracia.
5 minutes remaining of this first half, an intriguing game so far, highly entertaining. Bernd Leno with a couple of terrific saves, Aubameyang with the only goal so far, but Watford responding well after the initial shock of going down to 10 men. And here's Nacho Monreal, he's got a white sweatband on his right wrist. Alex Iwobi into the edge of the area in Aubameyang. He tried the immediate flick round the corner towards Ramsey, just got too good a connection on it, and the ball is behind for a goal kick.
Arsenal in the driving seat, but I have to say they've been pretty disappointing going forward. We think Ben Foster had that one save to make from Iwobi. Arsenal haven't really troubled Watford too much in this first half, other than the horrific mistake from Foster for the goal.
Long goal kick by Foster, brought down on the chest by Laurent Koscielny, and Arsenal have the ball through left back Nacho Monreal. Round the corner from Iwobi. It was Kabasele who barged into Torreira, but we play on. Torreira trying to put some pressure here on Etienne Capoue. Torreira, the Uruguayan, starred in the World Cup for them last summer, signed from Sampdoria, had a terrific first season, maybe ran out of steam mid-season, rested for a couple of games, but appears to have his mojo back in the centre, in the engine room for Arsenal. Here's Decore, facing the right-hand side on the halfway line, then goes to the left to Messina, who has the blonde-haired Will Hughes on the touchline. Inside it goes again to Decore. Nice one-touch football by Watford, but it breaks down, and Aubameyang can lay the ball off to an advancing Aaron Ramsey, who has Mkhitaryan on the right-hand side. He stays onside. The cut back is cut out by Will Hughes, with 3 Arsenal players in the penalty area. That looked like a handball by Torreira, not given by Craig Pawson. And it's Arsenal in possession through Granit Xhaka, He can hit them with his left foot from the corner of the penalty area, decides instead to find Iwobi. Now he's on his right foot, Xhaka in the penalty area, trying to wriggle it through towards Aaron Ramsey. They make a mess of the clearance here, Watford, but they're going to play their way out of defence, and Capoue almost finds Decore, but then his pass finds only Lucas Torreira, and here's Ramsey, corner of the penalty area. The architects of their own downfall there, Watford. Iwobi back to Mkhitaryan, a little flick finds Torreira, but then he runs into Decore, who brings the ball clear through the midfield here for Watford. Now Kabasele
has been very good, Decore, as is Capoue for Watford. Really good footballers, comfortable in possession.
Andre Gray just leans into Koscielny. The ball allowed to run through to Mavropanos, and Arsenal can build again in the centre circle here. Granit Xhaka, and no one's engaging him. Right-footed, side-footed pass out to the left touchline, and Iwobi, who looks very alert and alive on that left-hand side for Arsenal. Running at Janmaat, ball still at his feet. Right-footed shot charged down by Janmaat. Ball goes high into the sky, bounces in the penalty area, left-hand side. Now out to the penalty area is Iwobi. He rolls it back to Xhaka on his right foot. He's going to have a go. It's his weaker foot, and it's a daisy cutter straight at Ben Foster.
It was a weak effort. Janmaat's actually dealt with Iwobi pretty well in this first half. You see Arsenal, what an opportunity now. As it stands, they sit in that Champions League spot. They'll want that second goal, put this game to bed.
Well, they stand on 63 points, Chris, at the moment. They've already equalled last season's tally. They are currently a point behind Manchester United with a game in hand, 3 points behind fourth place Chelsea with 2 games in hand. And if they win tonight by whatever score, they have a better goal difference than Chelsea, so they would, as you say, slot into fourth place. And they don't face any of the big 6 in their final 6 games, including tonight, albeit including tonight, 4 of them away from home where they have struggled. We are in the final minute of the first 45, waiting for the ball to go up down in front of us. Arsenal in possession through Granit Xhaka. Here's left-hand side Alex Iwobi. Femenia is the defender. He concedes the throw. No, he doesn't. It's off Iwobi last. He can barely believe the decision. And it's Watford who have a throw level with their own penalty area on their right-hand side.
Yeah, I think Craig Pawson did get that one wrong. He's worked hard for Femenia down that right-hand side. It's been a threat going forward, but doubled up well on Iwobi.
Here's Iwobi on that left-hand side again. Advancing here down the left is Aaron Ramsey. The low cross into Aubameyang. Lovely footwork on his left foot. The shot is blocked by Will Hughes. I thought he'd bought himself a crucial half yard in the penalty area. Maybe took an extra touch, and that enabled Will Hughes to get the challenge back. But Will Hughes has gone flying into another challenge. For this, he may see a yellow card. Who's he left on the floor there, Chris? Ramsey, yeah.
Ramsey. Clever play, Ramsey. Knew Will Hughes was coming, rolled him. And Will Hughes takes him out, and he is lucky not to see yellow. But Hughes did really well earlier, and that ball went into the box because it was a lovely take from Aubameyang on the half turn. Hughes read it well, swept the ball away.
This might be the last opportunity of the first half. Only 1 minute of time added on, and we are well into that now. Granit Xhaka halfway inside the Watford half. Takes the free kick short to Torreira. Craig Pearson peers at the watch on his left wrist, and then the whistle goes to his mouth. I would have thought Arsenal could have got a late shot away there, perhaps to test Ben Foster before the break. They didn't. Half-time, Chris Sutton, and it's Arsenal through Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang who lead 10-man Watford by a goal to nil.
Yeah, and it's not been vintage Arsenal by any stretch of the imagination. A really poor error from Ben Foster, the goalkeeper, dwelling on the ball. Tried to clear it up the pitch, but Aubameyang, he's so quick, closed him down. 1-0 to Arsenal, and then a moment of madness from Troy Deeney. Wasn't so long ago he was questioning Arsenal's cojones. Well, Troy Deeney, you have to question his composure. He lost it, he saw red, quite rightly so. What a chance for Arsenal to take all 3 points and burst into that top 4.
Not a good half mark for Ben Foster or Troy Deeney. Half-time at Vicarage Road. Lively stuff. Watford 0, Arsenal 1. Yes, that's an interesting move and a very attacking one for Arsenal against the 10 men of Watford. So Mesut Ozil starts on the bench, started against Napoli last weekend. Now he's got to come to the sideline and think and remove some jewellery. He's got his gloves on as well, but Chris, he went through his paces throughout the entire half-time break.
That's what you call it.
What's he got to do? Oh, he's got to go off to the sideline in order to officially be brought on. He was on the edge of the centre circle, so he's on for Lucas Torreira. It's an interesting substitution, that, isn't it?
Well, I think it's a very positive substitution. I think Arsenal, actually, in terms of their attacking play in the first half, were really disappointing, and we know he is such a talent, isn't he? Mesut Ozil. Ramsey will just drop in alongside Xhaka.
Well, he did start the last 3 Premier League games in addition to the Napoli Europa League tie. Only 1 goal in his last 18 appearances in all competitions. That was against Bournemouth in February. Lasted 67 minutes on Thursday against Napoli, and he's got 45 minutes against 10 men to make an impact tonight. Arsenal in possession, back underway in this second half, leading by a 1-0, scored early by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who charged down an attempted clearance by Ben Foster. Just seconds later, Troy Deeney with the elbow on Lucas Torreira, although I think you went for a bit of a wander at half-time, and the natives are a bit restless and disagree with the decision, as they probably would. The Watford fans, the red card to Troy Deeney.
Well, he threw an arm and he got caught in the act. It's as simple as that. I don't see what Watford fans can argue about regarding that. It's nothing to do with Torreira's size. He threw an arm. Torreira may be 5'6", but you throw an arm, you throw an arm.
Here's Aaron Ramsey, who may take up a slightly deeper role with the introduction, or after the introduction, of Mesut Ozil. Andre Gray trying to put the high press on. Koscielny rolls it across to his centre-back mate Konstantinos Mavropanos, who had a couple of rash moments in the first 45 minutes. Here's Nacho Monreal, 10 yards inside his own half, rolls it across field to Mavropanos, and here's Shkodran Mustafi on the right touchline, just short of the halfway line. Normally a centre-back, of course, but right back here at Vicarage Road tonight. Aaron Ramsey on the halfway line, right-hand side, pointing to where he wants his teammates to be, gets it back again, and it's a rather tame start to the second half so far.
And you have to credit Watford, that 4-man midfield working ever so hard. No big gaps. Arsenal just not moving the ball with enough purpose at present. Too many touches. It's all been too pedestrian for Arsenal in this game.
Side to side isn't a problem at the moment for Unai Emery's team. It's between the lines where they're struggling to create. I'm sure hence the introduction of Mesut Ozil, and that's his stock in trade. Here's Aaron Ramsey, and he finds Granit Xhaka just inside the Watford half. Firmino puts him under some pressure. Ramsey seeing more of the ball in this second half from this slightly deeper position, out towards the left-hand side. A left-footed first-time ball from Ozil back to Monreal. Iwobi in field, corner of the area, left-hand side for Ramsey. Switches the play to the right-hand side to Shkodran Mustafi. He's closed down by Will Hughes. Nice bit of skill by Mustafi. Finds Mkhitaryan. Now it's Granit Xhaka back in the centre of the pitch for Aaron Ramsey. Here's Mesut Ozil twisting and turning, facing the left-hand side, and strokes a ball languidly out to Alex Iwobi, who's having a run here at the Watford defence. The cross took a deflection. It almost fell into the path of Mesut Ozil in the penalty area. Watford clear, but it's back on the touchline on the left-hand side with Iwobi. Infield he goes to Mavropanos. Arsenal back in possession.
Yeah, Watford had just got to hang on in there. They showed enough in the first half to create 1 or 2 opportunities. Hit the post, of course. Leno made 1 or 2 decent saves. I mean, this is unthinkable now for Arsenal not to go on and win this game. I mean, imagine if they slipped up from here.
Well, it's there for them, isn't it, to put an end to this fairly woeful away record that they've got. 63 points. At home, they've been fantastic. Away from home, insipid. Given away by Decore, charged down. His Monreal's attempted ball to Iwobi, charged down by Yanma. Monreal takes the throw in, 10 yards inside the Watford half on the left-hand side. And here's Aaron Ramsey with the ball at his feet in the centre circle, not putting any particular pressure. Watford's midfield 4 conserving energy, sitting back behind the ball, not pressing, and they're just asking Arsenal to play through them, and then they'll hope to spring like a a coiled spring on the counter-attack and maybe get something out of the game. Here's Xhaka towards the edge of the area. He was backtracking there with his back to goal, Mesut Ozil. That allowed Kabasele to take possession. He finds the feet of Gray, who tried a first-time ball to Decore. That didn't work out, and Koscielny has it back here for Arsenal.
No, it's important Gray in that situation really works hard and holds the ball in. Sloppy one-touch layoff, didn't come off. If you're unsure, take two, get your team up the pitch.
This looks more threatening from Arsenal. Left-hand side, Alex Iwobi. Down the line he goes. Side of the penalty area for Mesut Ozil. Iwobi again into the penalty area. Ramsey, tracked by Decore. Decore gets the challenge in. Ramsey wins the ball back. Right on the byline on the Arsenal left-hand side by the corner flag. Here's Alex Iwobi. Nice bit of skill. Try to flick it around Decore, but only succeeds in conceding the goal kick.
Well, Iwobi, I think he wanted the corner there. Bit of a show pony there with that trick. Iwobi, I think he should have got the corner. Let's come off Decore's right boot. I think Decore's been excellent though, and Capoue in the centre, that Watford midfield working really hard, keeping possession of the ball, which is key for Watford.
Lucas Torreira, who was involved in that incident that led to the red card for Troy Deeney, is now on the Arsenal bench chewing his gum furiously. Both protagonists in the flashpoint in the first half are off the field, but it's Arsenal still with 11 men against 10 men of Watford. 6 minutes into the second half here, Arsenal lead Watford by 1-0. Aubameyang tried to slide it into Mkhitaryan in the penalty area. Will Hughes got in the way, and it's back with Ben Foster in all orange defending the goal away to our left-hand side. Javi Gracia, arms folded on the touchline in the technical area. He's got his black snood on, black coat as well, whistling to his players and moving them around with his gestures. Here's Aaron Ramsey, flicks it with the outside of his right boot to his right back Mustafi. A rather aimless long ball down field, but they might be able to pick up the scraps here, Arsenal. Mesut Ozil picks up the loose ball. Was he fouled by Decore? No, says Craig Pawson. Decore gets another strong challenge in, this time on Granit Xhaka. I don't think went in with his full force there, Granit Xhaka. And Firmino has the ball on the right-hand side for Watford, gets the ball back from Decore, right touchline. Monreal ahead of him, Decore pointing to where he wants the ball. He turns in field. It's a nice looking ball towards Capoue, and he just gives the ball away to Henrik Mkhitaryan. And there's a potential here on the counter-attack for Arsenal if they can move the ball a little bit quicker, but it has been quite pedestrian so far.
This is when they're a real threat though, and they're breaking out against Watford.
Here's Granit Xhaka, halfway inside the Watford half. Left-footed ball out to the left-hand side to Alex Iwobi. Immediately has a go here at the right back. The cross comes in, it's a good one. It goes across the face of goal and wide of the far post. It just needed a touch from Aubameyang. Ben Foster would have been slightly concerned that might have nestled in the corner of the net as well. As it is, it's wide, it's a near miss, and it's a goal kick.
Yes, Iwobi off the left-hand side, getting it on his right foot. It's an intelligent ball in, low ball in, and Aubameyang just gets across the near post, and he can't get a touch on the ball, and it just drifts in swinging past Ben Foster's far post, not far away at all.
Well, it was Aubameyang's first away goal in the Premier League since Boxing Day against Brighton. He hadn't scored in his previous 5 on the road. You know, only Mo Salah has scored more Premier League goals than Aubameyang since he was signed and made his debut in February of last year against Everton. A yellow card brandished for Etienne Capoue for a challenge on the halfway line that's left Henrik Mkhitaryan in a heap, clutching the lower part of his right leg.
It's another one of those bouncing balls. Mkhitaryan touches the ball. I think it's one of those where Capoue just follows through and stands on Mkhitaryan's big right toe. Mkhitaryan down screaming on the deck. I think he's unfortunate there, Capoue.
The Armenian has limped away from the scene, but he's back on his feet, just reaching down now and just touching that right foot where the contact was made. It's a miscontrol by Mesut Ozil, and here's Abdoulaye Decore, who releases it to the right hand side towards Firmino. And the ball is out of Janmat, I should say. Ball is out of play for a Arsenal throw on their left-hand side, taken quickly by Iwobi. Down the left, here's Aaron Ramsey running at Kabasele, now going across field. He chips it out towards Henrik Mkhitaryan. He's got Shkodran Mustafi on the overlap. Still Mkhitaryan. He's going to have a shot. It's half blocked by Will Hughes. That takes the sting out of it. It loops into the air, but easy for Ben Foster.
Yeah, I think Arsenal have been so casual in this game.
Will they be punished? It's Will Hughes. That was a very promising situation. He tried to slide the ball through towards Andre Gray, who was onside, but it was too straight and cut out by Laurent Koscielny.
There's a lovely first touch from Will Hughes. Just opened up. Gray had made a run into the left-hand channel. Tried to reverse it with his right foot. Not far away.
Here's Aaron Ramsey, halfway inside the Watford half of play. Here's Shkodran Mustafi now, and he finds the Swiss international Granit Xhaka. Chips the ball into the penalty area. Decent first touch by Aubameyang to try and bring the ball under control and evade Kabasele, but in the end it's Decore who gets a challenge in, and he finds Capoue. Lovely ball between the lines up to the halfway line, and Will Hughes now into the Arsenal half, and he pokes it to the right hand side to Femenia, who's closed down by Koscielny. It's a slightly limp cross, and it's cleared by Mavropanos, but it's a throw-in on the right for Watford, taken quickly, level with the edge of the penalty area by Janmat to Femenia. Janmat has it back again from Hughes, going across the penalty area. Left-footed attempted shot there is charged down. Gray trying to pick up the pieces, and it's cleared in the end by Nacho Monreal up towards Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now it's Iwobi is away down the left-hand side. He skips past Kabasele towards the left corner of the penalty area now. Alex Iwobi has 3 to aim for in the box. He stands it up. Mkhitaryan. Oh, he's put it wide.
It's a save. What a save that was from Foster.
Brilliant football from Arsenal, and Mkhitaryan must have felt he doubled the advantage, but Foster has atoned for that first half error.
Yeah, but once again Arsenal on the break. Credit Watford, really good passage of play, but Iwobi stands the ball up, left-footed to Mkhitaryan on the 6-yard line, and he thinks it's an easy finish, an easy goal for him, but Foster somehow spreads himself and makes a crucial save with his right leg.
Corner's been taken, and now it's a cross from Mkhitaryan that loops off a defender onto the roof of Ben Foster's goal, and we'll try again. Corner on Arsenal's left-hand side. If you saw the Liverpool-Chelsea game yesterday, it was a chip to the back post reminiscent of Henderson to Sadio Mane, but this time it was a right-footed, side-footed volley by Mkhitaryan that was saved by Ben Foster. Matteo Guendouzi is going to come into the game shortly. He's getting ready on that Arsenal bench. 12 minutes into the second half. Arsenal still lead by that early Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang goal against 10-man Watford. Troy Deeney shown a red card in the 12th minute here on 5 Live Sport at Vicarage Road. Alex Iwobi into the penalty area goes. Lovely first time ball by Mkhitaryan. Gets it back from Mesut Ozil, then tracks his shot well wide.
Yeah, it's a poor finish. Really good build-up play. Ozil at his best. Lovely awareness, lovely touch. Mkhitaryan feeds it into his path. Left-hand side of the box. Ozil first time reverse ball back. And Mkhitaryan right-footed gets the shot horribly wrong. Pulls it well wide of Ben Foster's near post.
So the frizzy-haired Matteo Guendouzi, who recently turned 20 years of age, is going to come into the game for Konstantinos Mavropanos.
What do we think? Back 3
of Mustafi, Koscielny and Monreal.
Looks that way.
And Isaac's success will come in for Watford to replace Kiko Femenia. So success is in, and so too Guendouzi. 1-0 Arsenal lead at a jam-packed Vicarage Road. Very intimate 4 sides of the ground. Not a bad seat in the house, I don't think. Will the flag go up here against Andre Gray? No, it won't. Into the penalty area he goes, but it's a very alert Laurent Koscielny who whips the ball off his toes and then finds Alex Iwobi.
There's a poor touch from Gray. The flag didn't go up. Koscielny using all his experience to get back and steal the ball off him. The edge of the box.
Long clearance by Ben Foster. That's an elaborate looking flick by Aaron Ramsey. Got away with it, gets the ball back. Now just inside the Watford half on the right hand side, and he's fouled as he tried to release Aubameyang and Mesut Ozil, and it's a free kick to Arsenal on their right hand side, 10 yards or so inside the Watford half.
I'm just seeing whether Watford's formation has changed. Capoue shouting over to the bench. It's like Success is playing on that left hand side.
Ball back with Shkodran Mustafi, circulated to Granit Xhaka. He rolls it into the path of the very sprightly looking Matteo Guendouzi. Here's Iwobi seeing a lot of the ball on the left hand side for Arsenal tonight. Guendouzi chips it towards Aubameyang, but I think he overclubbed that one, straight into the arms of Ben Foster, and Watford could bring the ball clear again. Right-footed clearance towards Success. It's easy for Mustafi, now part of that back three for Arsenal after the substitution. Here's Iwobi down the left, and he'll prod it in the general direction of Mesut Ozil. Will he keep the ball in play? Yes, he will. Approaching the side of the penalty area now. There's the cross towards the back post. It'll fall here for Mkhitaryan, who's had one or two opportunities already in this second half, and he sends this one into the rookery behind the goal. That's a poor effort by Henrik Mkhitaryan. He forced a terrific save out of Ben Foster, but his last two attempts haven't been good enough.
And arguably, well, not arguably, he should have scored that. But a lovely ball again from Ozil on the left-hand touchline near the byline, gets his head up, picks out Mkhitaryan on the far side of the box, but wild from Mkhitaryan. Success has actually gone up front alongside Andre Gray, so Watford now are 4-3-2.
16 minutes into this second half, ball's out of play on the Arsenal left-hand side. It's a throw in to Watford, who only trail by this 0-0. If this result holds, Arsenal go into fourth place, and it would mean that all the teams striving to be the best of the rest, i.e. finish seventh, and you put Watford in that group alongside the likes of Leicester and Everton and West Ham, all will have lost. But this one is not over yet. What a strike that is! Top of the crossbar from Messina with the left foot, arrow towards the top corner, but just too high, clips the top of the bar and goes into the travelling Arsenal fans behind the goal.
Well, they just aren't out of this, Watford. This is a stunning strike. Doucouré, 24 yards out, just feeds the ball right-footed into the path of Messina, left-footed, hammers the ball, all sorts of movement on it. Leno's nowhere, he's not getting anywhere near that, and it crashes off the top of the crossbar.
Well, the Italian left-back, born in Morocco, Adam Messina, signed from Bologna last July. He's a backup to Holebas, who's out with that hamstring injury. What a goal that would have been, from fully 25 yards, left-footed, like an arrow, but thundered off the top of the crossbar, and Watford remain a goal down. Here's Koscielny, calm defending from him, rolls the ball with his right foot to Guendouzi. Here's Mustafi in the midfield. It goes to Mkhitaryan, who's under no pressure, but he gives the ball away, and it's Daryl Janmaat who squeezes it through the legs of Xhaka. Success pointed to where he wants it on the right hand side. To the left hand side he goes. He had Andre Gray in, heavy first touch with the right boot, and the chance is lost. He would have been one-on-one, seeing the whites of Bernd Leno's eyes.
Oh, what an opportunity. Mkhitaryan, I think he's had a nightmare all evening. Really sloppy crossfield ball. Janmaat intercepts and drives, keeps on going and going, and he feeds the ball to Andre Gray. I think Mustafi had committed. Gray just has to get his first touch right, and he would have been in one-on-one, and it's a horrible touch away and behind.
No, it's Aubameyang in pursuit of a long clearance by Bernd Leno, but it's nodded comfortably back to Ben Foster in the Watford goal. And Watford once again having soaked up an awful lot of pressure from Arsenal, who've had one or two chances in this second half, haven't capitalised, and the gap is still just that solitary goal. Here's Success. Doucouré made a good run into the penalty area. Success didn't spot him, and now it's Mesut Ozil, flags up on the far side, 2 yards inside the Watford half. who were playing a very high line, but it was very organised to catch Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in an offside position.
Don't get that. When you're as quick as Aubameyang, you should never be caught offside. And Watford do run the risk right just inside their half, and I think it's Cathcart who steps up, and Aubameyang a yard offside.
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is the first Arsenal player ever to score on all 7 days of the week in a single season, which is perhaps the worst statistic I've ever read, but I thought I'd share it with you anyway.
I quite liked it.
You've got a low bar. 1-0. Arsenal lead as we approach the 20-minute mark here on a Monday night on 5 Live Sport at Vicarage Road. If you're just joining us, Watford down to 10 men from the 12th minute when Troy Deeney elbowed Lucas Torreira. Straight red card, 3-match ban.
Well, just imagine if Watford had 11 men on the pitch, because they've looked to throw it with 10 men. I think Arsenal have been so sloppy tonight, really do. Very casual performance.
It's Watford in possession towards the Arsenal half, but they've won the ball back, the Gunners, and here's Alex Iwobi on the left-hand side. First time ball is directly in between Ramsey and Ozil, and in the end it's straight to Messina. That's disappointing from Iwobi, and I think he heard it from Ramsey and Ozil as well. Here's Janmaat on the right touchline for Watford, twisting away from Iwobi, uses his strength to win the ball back. Now there's a bit of room for manoeuvre for Aaron Ramsey down the left-hand side, and the ever-willing Alex Iwobi takes on the attack towards the corner of the penalty area. Here's Ramsey in space, cuts it back into the path of Mesut Ozil. It was an elaborate-looking flick. I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to achieve there, Mesut Ozil. He had a little bit of time in the penalty area, didn't make anything of it. Good challenge by Monreal on Andre Gray. Left-hand side again for Arsenal through Iwobi. Has Ozil inside the penalty area ahead of him. He checks back, chips it to the chest of Guendouzi. Xhaka back into his own half on the halfway line now to Laurent Koscielny. It's back with Granit Xhaka, edge of the centre circle, and they're taking their time here, Arsenal, and Watford once again not engaging, not wasting energy, just asking Arsenal to pick through their packed defence, and they're still in touch here, trailing by a goal to nil. Ozil back to Guendouzi. He's never scored in the Premier League. The ball out to the right side of the penalty area, and Aubameyang, and he feeds it into Mkhitaryan. Low driven cross, and at the back post was Mesut Ozil. It was too far ahead of him, and the ball goes off the corner flag for a goal kick.
Yeah, that was a good ball. Worked well from left to right. The ball from Aubameyang fed out to Mkhitaryan, who fires the ball across the 6-yard line. Had Ozil gone a fraction earlier, Arsenal would have had the second.
Well, the second substitution, in fact the third substitution for Arsenal, is going to be Ainsley Maitland-Niles for Aaron Ramsey. Jeff Lloyd will be here at 10:30 on 5 Live with more guests from Paris after the fire at Notre Dame in Paris today. This is 5 Live on the BBC, and Aaron Ramsey makes his way slowly, gets a high five and a tap on the chest from Unai Emery, who sends Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who looks to be going across to right back. And have they reverted here to a back four, Chris?
Yeah, looks that way. I think he's a player, Maitland-Niles, I really do. Tremendous athlete, intelligent, good delivery when he gets into that final third.
Do you think he'll end up as a central midfielder, holding midfielder?
Well, I think that Arsenal are lucky. He's so versatile.
Aubameyang's offside. Flag up on the far side, 15 yards outside the Watford penalty area.
Yeah, looks like they have gone to a back four. Never felt Mkhitaryan in a wing-back role, and that really suits him.
Ben Foster, way outside his penalty area, about to send this free kick left-footed forward towards Doucouré and Gray, and Success, who leaps here with Mustafi, but Mustafi wins the header. The ball bouncing towards the halfway line. It's Cathcart who heads it forward for Watford, but it falls to the feet of Xhaka. He gives the ball away carelessly, trying to find Mkhitaryan. Doucouré in the centre circle. Initially thought about going to the right-hand side, and then found his teammate Etienne Capoue. A precise ball to the feet of Janmaat. He's inside of Iwobi now inside of Xhaka, and he chips it towards the back post. In comes Will Hughes. It's a good first time cross into the penalty area, and some defending to do straight away for the substitute Maitland-Niles, but he did it well under pressure. But that was a lovely ball across to Will Hughes, who perhaps didn't make the most of the opportunity. Capoue towards the edge of the penalty area, and Andre Gray. Here's Decore trying to slide it through a very narrow gap towards success, and it's repelled this time by Arsenal. But Aubameyang has the ball now in the centre circle. Good challenge by Messina, but then a left-footed ball lofted over the back line towards the left-hand side by Mkhitaryan. And here's Iwobi into the penalty area. Left side of it, trying to work his room for a shot, and he got a cross in. It may even have been a shot. It went across the 6-yard box, almost fell to Aubameyang, and Cathcart got it clear.
He's looked a threat, hasn't he? Iwobi down the Arsenal left-hand side, but I have to say Watford are hungrier in the challenges. And I think you're right, Arlo. Will Hughes could have taken a touch in the Arsenal box, elected to fire a volley across goal first time, and the chance was gone.
Back with Arsenal on their left-hand side of the penalty area. Iwobi to Monreal, who's a long way forward. The shot comes in left-footed by Mesut Ozil. It was all a little bit half-hearted. Didn't make a particularly good contact. It was blocked, and the ball is cleared out towards Maitland-Niles, the right-back substitute for Arsenal. Across the back line it goes from Mustafi to Koscielny. Here's Granit Xhaka. Back again to Laurent Koscielny. A reminder, if the result holds, it'll be Arsenal who go into 4th place. Then they travel to Naples for the second leg of that Europa League quarter-final with a 2-0 advantage. Their remaining fixtures: Crystal Palace at home, Wolves away, Leicester away, Brighton at home, Burnley away. So they don't face any of the so-called big boys.
Let's get it right, they haven't been convincing tonight. Watford down to 10 men after 10 minutes. And at times they've looked the bigger threat, Watford. They've been hungrier, more tenacious. I think Arsenal players are looking around and just expecting things to happen.
Well, it's at walking pace at the moment. Mustafi, and he finds Koscielny, and now here's Nacho Monreal, who's got some strapping. I thought it was a sweatband in the first half, but it's some strapping on the right wrist. Bright white bandaging on the right wrist of Nacho Monreal. Centre circle, Koscielny, and here is Monreal with some lime green boots on, and he turns on a bit of pace to dart into the Watford half, gets the ball back down the left-hand side from Alex Iwobi at the side of the penalty area, and then he runs into Cavaselli. Very physical defending by the Belgian, and then Iwobi gives the ball away, and here come Watford again through Etienne Capoue, who's left Guendouzi in his wake. Struggling to get back is Mkhitaryan. Now Isaac Success, and they have one or two forward here, Watford. Success trying to get around Granit Xhaka into the penalty area, which he has done, and then the attempted side-footed crosser towards Gray was blocked. That was good perseverance and skill from Isaac Success, and rather limp defending by Granit Xhaka. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's on the floor. He wanted a free kick for the challenge by Etienne Capoue, and Craig Pawson waves play on. I think Craig Pawson will be happy that things have calmed down a little bit. He hasn't had that many big decisions to make since the mid part of the first half, and of course showing that direct red card, straight red card to Troy Deeney. 28th minute of the second half, and it's Watford 0, it's Arsenal 1. Will Hughes on the right hand side now. Finds Janmaat. Janmaat has Andre Gray making a run, who's now in an offside position. Hughes looking to run here at Nacho Monreal, turns back from Iwobi as well, finds Janmaat. He tried to flick it into the general direction of Andre Gray on the edge of the penalty area. Xhaka got the block in. Watford have it back though. Here's Cavaselli on the right hand side for the Hornets, just inside the Arsenal half, into the feet of Andre Gray. He flicks it towards the touchline. Gets the cross towards the edge of the area, more of a cutback really, but straight to Guendouzi.
Lacked a bit of quality at times. Andre Gray, touch has let him down. Delivery there, in a good position, wide area, very poor.
Maitland-Niles has made some good ground down the right-hand side here for Arsenal. The cross breaks to Aubameyang, who tried to feed it back into Mkhitaryan when perhaps he had room for a shot himself. Mkhitaryan keeps it in play, back to Maitland-Niles into the penalty area. Mesut Ozil, right corner of that penalty area. Mkhitaryan wide on the right-hand side. The cross came into the near post. The flag's up anyway. It wouldn't have counted had Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang put that in the back of the net. He missed anyway.
Mkhitaryan again fizzing across from out on the right hand side. Oh, I don't think that's offside, albeit it's missed by Aubameyang. I think he's level or just behind the ball at the point of the cross.
Dare I say, Chris, that we could say where we were when Arsenal kept a clean sheet away from home in the Premier League. They are 15 minutes away from that happening for the first time this season. Arsenal fans are shouting at their radios about commentator curses. Let's see how this final 15 minutes goes.
Well, they haven't been convincing, and I tell you what, if they turn up against Napoli and play at this tempo, then there's every chance they'll be out of the Europa on Thursday. It's been lacklustre from Arsenal.
Here's Maitland-Niles for the Gunners. Rolls the ball back to Guendouzi, who was playing French second division football with Lorient last season, but he's become a mainstay for Unai Emery. Only just turned 20 years of age. He plays older than that. Long ball forward by Cathcart, looking for success. So it's an awkward coming together
on success.
Yeah, Laurent Koscielny is down on the ground. Both are down on the ground, and Koscielny looks to have come off worse, clutching his lower back. He leapt very early for that over the top of success.
Success is saying to Craig Pawson, how is that not a foul? He jumps first, and Koscielny just ploughs into him, doesn't take the ball. It's a clear foul for Watford, and it would have been in a dangerous area, sort of 30 yards out. Very rash from Koscielny.
And Koscielny's back on his feet, shaking his head and walking a little stiffly, shall we say, Laurent Koscielny. He's been through a lot physically. 9th season at Arsenal, captain of the Gunners, 33 years of age now. One or two of the Arsenal players were down on the touchline. One of them was Alex Iwobi chatting away to manager Unai Emery, and the throw-in has been taken by Etienne Capoue back to Nacho Monreal, who rolls it back to his goalkeeper. We're back underway. 14 minutes remaining of the 90 here at Vicarage Road. Monday night, Arlo White and Chris Sutton with you, alongside Mark Pougat on 5 Live Sport. Arsenal leading by that early Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang goal. His 18th of the season in the Premier League, 23rd in all competitions, against 10-man Watford, who have been adjudged and flagged offside. Free kick to Arsenal.
He's in for the golden boot, Aubameyang.
He is one behind Mo Salah, I believe. He was 4th today, behind Salah, Aguero and Mane. Salah's on to 19, I think, yesterday, with that superb effort into the top corner in front of the Kop. Very special moment that was in the title race. Here's Mkhitaryan on the right-hand side for Arsenal. Rolls it back to Maitland-Niles.
He's had a bad season as well, Salah, according to some. Blimey.
I heard you firing out the stats over the weekend when the comparisons were made with Eden Hazard. Guendouzi to the byline, in the area. Oh, it just needed rolling back to Ozil, who was all alone, and then the curling effort comes in from Granit Xhaka, but it's straight at Ben Foster. Now, if Guendouzi got that ball right to Mesut Ozil, he was all alone about 15 yards from goal. He could have picked his spot.
Well, do you know what? He shouldn't be missing this pass, Guendouzi. He wasn't stretching. He's under no pressure. Got to the byline. Ozil was on. An easy pass back to him, and he misses. That sums up Arsenal tonight. They have been really sloppy.
It's a conundrum, Chris, isn't it, with Mesut Ozil and what Unai Emery and Arsenal do with him. He's got a long time on his contract remaining. He's worth a king's ransom on a monthly basis. They don't start him they tend not to start him in very big games. You'd think the man who is easily the highest paid player at the football club would be a shoo-in and the first name on the team sheet. He's not, but who else is going to take on the wages? Free kick to Watford in the Arsenal half.
I think it's a very valid point. I'm a big fan of Ozil, and we've seen a couple of moments in this second half where he has actually made things happen. His weight of pass, his awareness. I think he should always be starting in this Arsenal team. I really do.
Well, Watford have a free kick here on their left-hand side, 15 yards inside the Arsenal half, and it looks like Daryl Janmaat will trot across from right back, maybe to take this right-footed. High line from Arsenal, 10 yards outside their penalty area. Andre Gray currently standing in an offside position. Isaac's Success is the furthest back of the Watford players. Cathcart and Cavaselli are forward as well. It's lofted into the air. It's a poor free kick, and it's easy from Messina for Bernd Leno on the edge of his area to take that cleanly.
Well, it wasn't a difficult free kick from Messina with such a high line for Arsenal. Big space to hit, but that was pretty ordinary.
Aubameyang making a good run in the inside right channel. He almost found by Xhaka. A defensive header, perhaps a little fortunate from Messina to find his teammate, but it's eventually nodded back to Ben Foster. As we approach the final 10 minutes here, as it stands, Arsenal heading back into the Premier League's top 4. What can the FA Cup finalists Watford do about that in the closing stages, albeit with 10 men? Success! Here's Andre Gray around the goalkeeper, and it's an excellent block by Ainsley Maitland-Niles. It was a tight angle by Andre Gray, brilliantly defended. In fact, it's come off the Watford striker last, and it's a goal kick.
Well, Maitland-Niles, he does so well, but Gray, I think he should score. Really good, strong challenge from Success, which releases Gray. He decides to take a touch. I think he should maybe go first time. He's 12 yards out, tries to go round Leno. Maitland-Niles times the tackle to perfection. Gray goes round Leno, doesn't commit too early, commits at the right time. Chance gone begging for Watford.
Javi Gracia's reaction, he slapped his thigh in frustration, and it's a flag on the near side for a free kick. The foul on Andre Gray, who's had a couple of moments. There was a situation earlier in the second half when he was free in the penalty area, heavy first touch. That was his best opportunity though of the game so far, and it was Maitland-Niles with some heroic defending for Arsenal.
Well, he missed a couple of chances in the semi-final as well, big opportunities. He's not on the top of his game. And that was the big chance which Watford had craved for. The door's open for Arsenal though to jump into that top 4. They don't seem to want to go through.
No, they're not grabbing the opportunity with both hands, shall we say. Free kick on the right hand side for Watford, 10 yards in from the touchline. Messina's going to curl this around. It's a high line. In fact, he leaves it for Janmaat. He curls it in, and it was well read by Granit Xhaka, who heads the ball out level with the edge of the penalty area, Watford's right hand side, for a throw in. Janmaat is going to take it. He's got the short sleeves glove combo on. It's not that chilly tonight. Ball above his head, throws it to Decore, who knocks it round the corner to Success, and it's Xhaka with the clearance, who bounces back off Success, and it's a goal kick to Arsenal. And it's their fans at the moment behind that goal away to our right hand side, who are the happier of the two sets of supporters. At the moment, this woeful away run of 1 in 9, that was at Huddersfield, and the lack of an away clean sheet, well, they could put it all to bed tonight and climb into the Premier League's top 4, but they've still got to see out the final 8 minutes plus stoppage time.
Well, they've got the result at the moment, but they haven't had the performance.
Messina does well, and the ball breaks to Will Hughes, who tried to switch the play to the Watford right. Heavy first touch by Decore, but then he brings the ball under control. Here's Success, who's looked lively. Down the right hand side he goes to Janmaat. He lofts it across to the back post. Will Hughes coming in, and he heads it over the crossbar.
I'll tell you what, Janmaat, he's had a superb game down this Watford right hand side, defended strongly, and as well worked again, gets to the byline, hangs the ball up over the far post, and Will Hughes attacks it. He just can't get over it and heads it over Leno's bar. But it's coming. You feel it's coming for Watford. Arsenal have been so sloppy. They don't deserve the 3 points.
Bernd Leno with the goal kick, right-footed, sends it into the Watford half. It's a leap by Aubameyang, but it's Cavaselli who wins the header. Falls to the feet of Monreal. Left touchline, Iwobi back to Laurent Koscielny. There's some space as he approaches the halfway line here for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Infield it goes to Matteo Guendouzi. Guendouzi surrounded by 3 Watford midfielders, and actually in the end, not sure Will Hughes had to commit the foul there. He has done. It's a free kick on the edge of the centre circle for Arsenal. But they looked favourites to pick his pocket there. Just a little bit overzealous in the challenge. Free kick's going to have to be taken from the right spot. Craig Pawson with his right foot kicks it back into the centre circle. I told you, Granit Xhaka.
I think Arsenal have been outworked in that midfield. I think Decore, Capoue and Hughes have been really outstanding for Watford.
Outside of the top six, there aren't many better midfield duos, central midfield duos than those two, are they? Capoue and Decore.
No, and you think there'll be clubs in for those two in the summer. Really good in possession, physically extremely strong, good all-rounders.
They've got an excellent spine, Watford, haven't they? I mean, you could include Troy Deeney when he's not throwing elbows around and getting sent off after 12 minutes. But Deeney, then the two central midfielders that we're talking about, and Cathcart, Mariappa, Cavaselli at the back. Foster, aside from his error earlier on, has had a terrific season.
You talk about the spine and two players missing tonight, Pereira, Creator, Delafeu. What an impact he had against Wolves.
Injured his ankle, didn't he? He's not in the 18 today, but very hopeful, I'm sure, of making the FA Cup final. It's a throw into Arsenal on their left-hand side, 15 yards inside their own penalty area, and they're in no hurry to take it. Nacho Monreal flicks the ball up from that lime green right boot into his hands. And as we approach the final stages at Vicarage Road, and it's a late challenge by Hughes on Monreal, who is off the field at the moment, just clutching his right ankle. And he's helped to his feet by Isaac's success. 4.5 minutes left here at Vicarage Road of the 90 minutes, and Arsenal still nursing that 1-0 lead from early on, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's goal.
Well, that's all about seeing it through now for Arsenal. Watford make another substitution.
Adam Messina makes way, who rattled the crossbar with that fizzing effort earlier in the second half, and it's Ken Sema, the Swedish international, who comes on in his stead at left back. Normally a player who plays further forward. Koscielny with the interception, but his clearance falls to Daryl Janmaat. And is he fouled by Granit Xhaka? Yes, says Craig Pawson. Free kick to Watford on their right hand side, 10 yards or so inside their own half. Unai Emery now very animated in the technical area. He knows and understands and comprehends the importance of the final few moments here in the context of Arsenal's season.
Well, and we know Watford, they're going to go to the end. Got those late goals in the semi-final. They still believe.
Sent long by Etienne Capoue, and it's Mustafi who won the header. Little wayward this time from Daryl Janmaat. Ken Sema keeps it in on the far side, but his attempted pass is nodded clear by Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Here's Mkhitaryan, right-hand side for Arsenal, almost gives the ball away, gets it back fortuitously, drops it back to the halfway line to Granit Xhaka. Left-footed ball out to the left-hand side, and Alex Iwobi has got Monreal ahead of him down that left-hand side. It almost broke for Mkhitaryan in the penalty area. It's going to be Etienne Capoue trying to run the ball out. He gets caught in possession, and it's a chip towards the back post. It was Mesut Ozil who was there, not on the end of that one though for Mkhitaryan. It was caught easily by Ben Foster, but his rollout isn't good, and Arsenal have the ball back down by the corner flag on their right hand side. Mesut Ozil back to Guendouzi, now Maitland-Niles inside the final 3 minutes here at Vicarage Road. Can Arsenal see this out for the 3 points, and can they keep their first away clean sheet of the season in the Premier League? Alex Iwobi, infield it goes to Granit Xhaka. They're at walking pace at the moment, Watford. They put a real shift in, being forced to play 78 minutes with 10 men. Here's Aubameyang. He's sprinted into the penalty area towards the corner of the 6-yard box, and his left-footed shot went wide.
That was an opportunity. Aubameyang so dangerous when he gets on the half turn. He's running towards goal. He makes some good runs. He is quick. Little shift inside the box. Takes him out wide. He slices the ball wildly into the stand.
Monreal down the left hand side for Arsenal, but he can't find Iwobi. It's out of play. Watford throw on the halfway line. Infield it goes to Cavaselli. Closing stages at Vicarage Road. 90 seconds of the 90 remaining. Here's Andre Gray on the right for Watford. He has Isaac's success in support. Into the penalty area, right hand side it goes to Will Hughes. Back out again to Gray. There's the cross. It's a poor one, and a diving Laurent Koscielny is able to head it clear.
Well, some of his quality. Andre Gray's been so poor in the final third. That's a silly foul from Mesut Ozil. over near the dugouts, and again it gives the opportunity for Watford to load the ball in to the box. Ben Foster up to take it, the centre halves go forward and they create one more half chance.
Foster just inside the Arsenal half, sends it to the edge of the penalty area. Commanding header from Koscielny, falls to the feet of Will Hughes into the final minute. Decore, side of the penalty area, volleyed cross, it's cleared only as far as Will Hughes. Left-footed effort is blocked by Guendouzi, and Guendouzi, good defending by him, can bring the ball clear. Daryl Janmaat just nips in front of Aubameyang, but then it's Guendouzi who's away, and he's through the challenge of Capoue. Guendouzi squares the ball but can't find Mesut Ozil. Well defended by Cathcart, and then Etienne Capoue flicks the ball round Guendouzi and brings it clear down the left-hand side for Watford.
Well, wasteful Arsenal. What an opportunity. They've been slack all night. Can Watford capitalise?
We wait to see the board, Chris, don't we, down beneath us, and it's going to go into the air now, and it's got a red number 3 illuminated on it. 3 minutes of time added on, and we're into that now. Arsenal leading by 1-0 against the FA Cup finalists. They'll face Manchester City in 33 days' time at Wembley. They've come off the back of a sensational comeback in the semi-final against Wolves, but they trail here with 10 men as we head into stoppage time. The ball's at the feet of Ben Foster. It was his attempted clearance that was charged down for the only goal of the night by Aubameyang. Seems like a long time ago now. Janmaat nods it down into the feet of Decore. Back to goal, just short of the centre circle. Rolls it back to Kabasele. Angled ball towards the edge of the Arsenal penalty area, looking for success. Bounces here for Capoue. The ball through towards Andre Gray. The flag stays down. Here's Will Hughes in the penalty area, and the attempted cross by Success. Claims of handball by the Watford fans. That was a decent opening, and they lacked poise at the crucial moment.
Well, there you go again, and Success this time. All he had to do is get height on the cross. Just didn't break for a Watford player initially, but it goes wide, left-hand side of the box. Success finds the Arsenal defender.
Here come Arsenal in attack. Closing stages. Alex Iwobi will head towards the corner flag as one or two fans here in front of us and the Sir Elton John stand have seen enough. They're going to make for the streets around Watford, around Vicarage Road. Here's Alex Iwobi. Chips it into the penalty area. Mesut Ozil is offside, and Watford can get it clear again, and the crowd are unhappy that Mesut Ozil has just nonchalantly flicked the ball away, and Ben Foster has to go and retrieve it, and he can send it clear again.
I know it's a game I'll have if, buts and maybes, but Troy Deeney on this pitch tonight, 11v11. I tell you, Watford would have beaten this Arsenal team. Arsenal have been feeble.
Decore, right hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area, allows the ball to run out for a Watford throw. Willie Hughes made a good run into the penalty area. Decore, and the final minute of the minimum of 3 added on here, is going to leave it for Daryl Janmaat. Last chance surely for Watford to draw level. Also have a bit more defending to do. Janmaat towards the penalty area, left-footed, chips it up. It was a terrific looking cross. Kabasele was coming in unmarked, but was it Koscielny or Xhaka who got his head to it, lobbed it in the air, and Bernd Leno falls on the ball.
Well, Koscielny, right place, right time on that 6-yard line. Crucial header up into the air.
Well, he looks calm, Unai Emery. I'm sure that betrays what's going on inside that head of his. He knows the significance of keeping a clean sheet. It's been a stick to beat Arsenal with this season. They've been dominant at home, rather feeble on the road. Xhaka through, flag stays down. No, it doesn't, it goes up very late against Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who'd taken the ball around Ben Foster, but Watford have a free kick. We've had the 3 minutes. All eyes on Craig Pawson now.
Well, this is it, isn't it? Halfway in his own half, Ben Foster. Centre halves go forward.
Last chance then. Ben Foster sends it forward, and the whistle blows, and the FA Cup finalists Watford are beaten. Arsenal go into the top 4 of the Premier League table. They've got 5 games remaining. They're ahead of Chelsea on goal difference, and they've kept a clean sheet on the road for the first time in the Premier League all season. Watford players, to a man, 1 or 2, collapsed to the ground in exhaustion. They just played 78, 80 minutes with 10 men after the early red card for Troy Deeney. But it's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang who scored the goal, who separates the sides, and they're back in the top 4. Chris Sutton.
Well, do you know what? I think the best team lost on the night, but it's a huge 3 points for Arsenal, who jump into that Champions League spot, into 4th place. They didn't get the performance, they got the result, but let's get it right. Ben Foster, big bad Ben, terrible error for the Arsenal goal, kicking the ball against Aubameyang. And then big bad Troy Deeney after that, through an arm. He had to go, he saw red, and Watford were up against it. To their credit, they created opportunities, didn't take them. They'll feel hard done by. But Troy Deeney has let his team down tonight. Brave performance from Watford, big result for Arsenal.
A big away win for Arsenal, who are celebrating in front of their travelling support, but they haven't come far. There's only 14 miles between the grounds. But final score, it's a lively old game. Watford gave it everything. They fall short. Arsenal back, mark in the top 4, having won here by a goal to nil.